and welcome to Buzz TV. I'm your host, Adrienne Houghton, and we have got an exciting show for you today. There's everything from restaurants and charities and galleries and something for everyone, really family favorites. So watch this space and find out more on Buzz TV.
Welcome back to another episode of On a Mission. I'm your host, Dr. Wendy Norfleet with Norfleet Integrated Solutions, and it's my pleasure to have with me Sharon Williams with Act for the Nations. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Sharon, tell us a little bit about Act for the Nations.
Well, Act 4 helps women and children around the world attain a better way of life. That's our tagline.
Okay.
We do that by partnering with people overseas, small companies, NGOs, missionaries, and bringing in skill sets that they are lacking to help them be successful. We work a lot with anti-trafficking, the small organizations that have popped up all over the world,
Yes.
and we come in and help their leadership, their staff learn how to deal with the hard trauma, how to get along with each other, just practical things that they don't have the training for.
Okay. You're right, because there's a lot of small organizations that they really need training. I get called in a lot of times to speak to small groups, but they're all the women business owners, they're men business owners too, but like leadership groups, but they work in smaller companies where they don't have the training for it.
Mm-hmm. Right, and we don't think about that here because everything's so available to us. But you get into these small villages like in Nepal, India, places like that, and they just don't have the resources. And so they're looking for, just show us how to do this better so that we can continue helping the girls, the women and children there.
So Sharon, do you do this all alone? Are you seeking volunteers? How does this take place?
Well, I lead all the teams, and I am sort of a one-horse organization, but I like it that way because I want all of our resources to go overseas.
Okay.
But I work with volunteers, and I have a core team that I can pull on at any time to go with me on a trip and fill in those gaps, but then I'm always looking for people with certain skill sets, expertise, or somebody that just wants to go and experience what it's like to work with people overseas.
Okay. So when you mention skill sets, expertise, there are certain areas that you're looking for?
Yes, when we're talking about leadership training and helping people, I look for counselors, coaches, people that know how to set up a business, how to create a board, how to work with dealing with conflicts, just things like that are simple to us, and a lot of people have those skill sets. But when you get into that kind of a situation, it becomes more difficult to get that kind of training.
Okay. It sounds like we should be partnering up here, but I don't really want to travel overseas right now. But it's like those are some of the things that our company does. Is the board and the development and leadership and things like that.
Oh, well, we'll have to talk about how we can make that happen.
We will. So, how do you raise money for your organization?
Fundraising. We are trying to get the word out everywhere we can. We do ladies' luncheons and vendor events and anything that we can come up with. I do have some churches and some partners even businesses that sponsor us when we go. And so it's word of mouth and asking people.
Okay. And one of the ways you raise money is through an event that's upcoming in November, correct?
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, we're partnering with Palencia Club here in Jacksonville, St. Augustine actually. And we're doing a vendor event.
Okay.
So we have vendors that will fill up the clubhouse, and then everyone comes and shops. And it's the Sunday after Thanksgiving, so we're in the shopping mode, getting ready for Christmas. So anybody can come. It's open to everyone. We'll be doing some raffles and giveaways and things like that. So come out and shop. Shopping with a Purpose, it's called.
Okay.
From 2 to 5.
I was going to ask you the time, 2 to 5. Okay, that's a really short window.
Yes, it is.
So once again, Palencia Club, St. Augustine, 2 to 5.
Yes, November 28th.
Okay. And so are you looking as far as, are you looking to expand to other areas or pretty much Asia and Africa?
No, we're open to going anywhere.
Okay.
I have people calling me now and saying, will you come? I heard that you did this over in this area. Will you come and help us? So we are expanding. there's only so much in a year we
Right.
can go. So we are limited with that. But we have been doing 10 trips a year
Okay.
up until the pandemic.
Right.
So we're excited to get back out there again and explore some new avenues. I have some open doors in different places in Vietnam, in Scotland. We're doing some work in the UK, and
wow.
and in Honduras and Guatemala.
Okay.
So expanding some. Yeah.
So about how long, when you go on these trips and you help these different organizations in these different countries, about how long is your stay?
A short trip would be 5 days. That would be like in Honduras or Guatemala, someplace close. But when you go halfway around the world and
You
you're
want to stay
paying
a little longer?
all that money to get there, you do want to stay longer. So 10 days, 2 weeks. The longest is 3 weeks.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So Sharon, if someone wants to volunteer and or learn more about your organization or your upcoming event, how do they get a hold of you?
Yes. Our website's the easiest way. Is act4nations.com.
And the 4 is the number 4.
The number 4.
Okay.
Like the fourth act of a play.
Okay. Want to repeat that one more time?
act4nations.com.
Okay. Thank you for coming on, and hopefully you'll get a lot of people at your fundraiser. And thank you for all the service that you do.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to partnering together.
Okay. Thank you for joining us for another episode of On a Mission. To learn more about Sharon Williams and Act for the Nations, please go to act4thenations.com or please go to iwannabuzz.com. And we'll see you next time on Buzz TV.
Greetings and welcome to the Jacksonville Buzz. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton. Joining me in the studio today is an entertainer, and she is quite extraordinary. Her name is Awilda Quesada, La Tremenda del Merengue. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much for having me here with you.
Absolute
Thank you so
pleasure. So before we find out anything about what you do,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about Awilda. Who is she and how did you find yourself here in Jacksonville?
Awilda is a Latin singer from Dominican Republic and just came here with my husband. And I bring the music every time when I can try on the people. And I try to bring the merengue because this is my culture. Yes, man. And then I want the people know who is Awilda, who is the merengue, who is the entertainment, when the people can look that. That's it.
So are you a teacher, an entertainer, a
Yeah.
singer?
I am a dance teacher, professional. I am a Zumba instructor. I'm a singer. Oh my God, a lot of stuff.
Zumba.
Yes, man.
And whereabouts do you do that?
I do in 2 places, really. And last Saturday we have a Zumbathon for organizations that work with the women violence. And all the money that we did with this event go to there. It was amazing. It was really amazing.
So have you always been a singer? Or have you always been a dancer? Or has it always gone hand in hand?
Together.
Together.
Yes, God gave me that amazing gift. And I was, okay, He gave me dance and He gave me singer. How can we put together? Okay. I'm dancing and singing at the same time. And it's rarely because you go to entertainment music, you see people or sing or dance. But together, it's rarely.
So it's
It's rarely you see, oh my God, how you can sing and dance at the same time and you can maintain your resistance breathing all the
Yes.
time and the people don't hear that you are suffocated when singing. So, just Jesus.
It's an art. It's
Just
definitely
Jesus.
an art, yes. So you are a singer also with Carib Groove.
Yes, I have 2 years with Caric Grove. They have a Latin band from Jacksonville. We have 4 musicians, bass, drum, and guitar. And also I'm the lead singer too. And we play in a lot of places here in Jacksonville.
And when is your next performance?
It's gonna be this weekend. It's gonna
Oh
be
my
the
goodness.
whole weekend because we are celebrating on the Halloween, and then we're gonna be in San Agustin and Jacksonville Beach. A lot of restaurants we play every night, but this weekend gonna be there.
And do you do anything on your own?
Yes, I have all my songs in the platforms. You go look Awilda Quesada, La Tremenda. And you can hear all my songs in there and add merengue.
So if somebody is out there watching and they would like to come to you for Zumba or for singing or for dancing or whatever, how do they find you?
No, they found me in the Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, by Awilda Quesada, La Tremenda, everywhere. But also I have here 3 cards. If someone is watching us and want to come here, they can grab this ticket and they can go to my class just for free.
Oh, wonderful.
And then just call, bring, or whatever, or write us in the bus Instagram, and we can give it the free pass.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you for coming in and talking to us about your wonderful artistry.
Thank you for having me here.
And good luck with the weekend.
Thank you so much.
And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information about Awilda, you can find it on iwannabuzz.com. Greetings and welcome to Fashion Focus. Today I am going to talk about how to wear the trending hat, a beret, in a modern way without feeling self-conscious and without coming off as a cliched tourist. Number 1, off to the side. Embrace the jauntiness that comes with a slightly lopsided approach. Number 2, soft and slouchy. Place your beret further back with the front closer to the crown of your head than the hairline. The softer the fabric, the better. Number 3, pull down. Pull the base of the hat down to just below your hairline. This will stop your beret from becoming too high. Number 4, straight and centered. Keep it simple by wearing your beret in the middle of your head. Keeping everything centered and raised will give your look a symmetrical, structured look that still has a French formality to it. Berets have an all-year-round appeal. Wear in warmer months with a floral dress, add a trench coat for the fall, then trade with a straight-cut woolen coat and faux leather leggings for the winter. Berets are available at ASOS, H&M and Free People. Effortless French girl fashion, here we come. I am Adrienne Houghton and thank you for watching Fashion Focus. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Caring for Seniors. Now, by now you know that each week I sit down with Dave Stieglitz, and he's the president of the Oasis Senior Advisors Jacksonville, and we discuss all aspects of senior living. Today we're lucky enough to have Terry Cantrell from the Alzheimer's Association coming in to talk a little bit about Alzheimer's and a walk to awareness. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Appreciate that.
Before we talk about Walk to End Alzheimer's, let's ask a few general questions. The difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
Get that question a lot. So you have to think, if you think of dementia as the umbrella term, Alzheimer's is a piece of that. So about 70 to 80% of all dementia cases are Alzheimer's. And then you have that other 20% that Parkinson's has a level of dementia with it, Parkinson's, Lewy body, that sort of thing. But Alzheimer's is like the bulk of dementia.
And are there early signs that people can be aware of to look for in their loved ones?
Yes, and I get that question a lot too because, I myself, as I get older, I'm like, oh my God, where are my car keys? It's not necessarily forgetting where you place things, that sort of thing. It's remembering what that item is for. So those early signs, trouble recalling names, forgetting words, those things that you kind of tend to ignore because you think, I'm getting older, and so it's natural. And then as any disease, right, it slowly progresses, and the next thing you know, maybe you're in a mild kind of state, or you transition from a mild to maybe a moderate kind of state, where it's like you've don't remember your address, or those daily routines that you are so used to doing, be it going to Publix and you know exactly how to get there. The next thing you know, it's like, ooh, is it a left turn or a right turn? It just slowly creeps in. And then that severe stage where, you know, you really need help, and the daily functioning, just using the bathroom, or, you know, the sleep disturbances, that sort of thing, where you need 24-hour care. It's just a slow progression. It's very sad.
The holidays are coming up, and people will be, you know, families will be visiting their parents, first time in a long time perhaps. What are some things they should look for when they come into the house, if they're going to their parents' house for Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Yeah, you'll see those behavioral changes, and you're right. When you don't see somebody for a while and then you do see them, even when you're talking on the phone, I think it's easy to disguise some symptoms, right? But I've heard so many stories of, you know, the son comes in and it's like, Mom, there's a pile of mail here, and here are some bills that have not been paid. You know what's happening. Or they'll realize maybe taxes haven't been filed, or leaving the stove on and forgetting that, you know, you have eggs that are boiling. Those kind of little things where you're like, are you all right, Mom or Dad? You'll notice those more at the holidays when you're spending that quality time with them, for sure.
Do we actually know what the causes of Alzheimer's
You
diseases?
know, I think there's a genetic component, but that's a very small level, maybe 1 or 2%. I think that when you look at other diseases and you think of cancer and you think of heart disease, and what an amazing job they have done to get us to live longer.
Yeah.
And all of those lifestyle changes that the Heart Association and cancer has kind of instilled in us, right? To eat better and watch your sugar intake and insulin and get rest and don't drink, don't smoke, you know, all of those things.
Don't have fun.
Don't have any fun. And the next thing you know, we're living longer.
Yeah.
And here comes the brain that we just don't understand enough about yet, but there is an intense focus on it now because we are all living longer.
Sure.
And so as we peel the onion back on health, here we are digging into the brain.
It's been said that perhaps the Mediterranean diet can help prevent the onslaught of Alzheimer's. Is that true, false?
I think we're seeing, again, like in other diseases, that environmental aspect, right? So the way you live, drinking, smoking, exercise, anything that's good for the heart is also good for the brain. There is a tie with inflammation that they've studied, and the Mediterranean diet, anti-inflammatory diet, anything that reduces inflammation is going to be good for the brain. So I think that is where that link with that diet comes in, is reducing any inflammation in the body.
So now let's move forward and talk about what you do in development at the Alzheimer's Association, and the fact that you have this walk that you do annually. How important is that?
It's very important. And like I was telling you guys outside, it's really about awareness. And when you think about, you know, Susan G. Komen and the pink, and the NFL started wearing pink, when they did start wearing pink, I mean, everybody started talking about breast cancer. And it was the awareness that brought for breast cancer. I mean, it was a game changer for sure. And so here we are trying to get people to wear purple, to come out, to tell their story, because so often, and I hear this all the time, you're kind of embarrassed maybe by what mom is saying or doing, and you see this, Dave, all the time.
Yes.
Or they don't want you to know. It's like a secret. And we need to start sharing those stories and saying, you know, it's okay. We all know somebody that's been impacted by Alzheimer's, dementia, you name it. And the more we start sharing those stories and wearing our purple and raising awareness, that is when the attention comes, the funding for research comes, and everything that goes along with that.
You talk about the embarrassment and things, and I find two different paths, and unfortunately the majority path is they're in denial. They don't want to admit it, they're embarrassed by it. Every now and then I come across somebody who says, yeah, I think I've got it, and it's affected me, and they're upfront and open about it, and they're so much easier to deal with. They know something's going on. It certainly frustrates them and scares them, but they are at least not in denial about it. And so they're seeking the help. What can we do? What's the best way? What's the safest thing for us to do? And that's such a better approach. Absolutely.
And that is when, if you can really embrace it early on and think, okay, it's not just forgetting where I placed something. There's a disconnect here, and I need to figure this out. that is when you see the early trials that you can get in. All of this research that's being done right now, if you're not open enough to say there's an issue, then you're missing out on those clinical studies and trials that could potentially help you. Our chairman of our board, Steve Waterhouse, his wife got in the aducanumab trial, and it really did help her. And so when they discontinued it, you saw the decline in her. And then when they restarted it, I just saw her a few weeks ago at a walk, and she looks amazing. You would never know. So getting in those clinical early trials.
Oh, the best chance of catching it is catching it early.
Yep,
if we wait too long, there's just lesser chance.
But unfortunately, so many people deny for so long.
Right.
If people recognize it earlier and they think, well, I can't live at home on my own and there's nobody to really help me, are there places that you can identify, Dave, that where they're not 100% needing to go into a memory care center, but they're needing a little bit of assistance? Are there some residential homes like
when
that?
I'm talking with families, I'm a big fan of the memory care only, that's all that they focus on. And I'm a big fan of when they have separation. We have our mild to moderate, and we keep them together because together they kind of form bonds, and it kind of slows the progression of the disease. What you don't want to do is take a mild to moderate Alzheimer's and put them in with people that are advanced. They will decline much quicker. So the communities themselves have come a long way in how they deal with this, and the training of the staff to recognize, okay, I'm going to approach an Alzheimer's person differently than I am a Lewy body or a vascular, because the behaviors are different, the reactions are different. So my expectations of you with Alzheimer's are going to be different than you with Lewy body, and I'm going to deal with both of you differently. That's so critical than just throwing everybody in together. And trying to put them all in the same box.
And it's obviously the diagnosis, correct diagnosis early on. Is it very obvious which one's which?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't think so. I do think that cognitive testing and whittling it down, because there's physical components that go with it too, that Lewy body would have versus an Alzheimer's. So that's a tough question.
That's a tough one.
The behaviors are different. That Alzheimer's behaviors, some of the hallucinations, some of the imagination of things, not just forgetting, but then creating things. There's somebody living in my attic.
Paranoia.
Okay. The paranoia that goes more on the Lewy body side than on the Alzheimer's side. So there are certain things that manifest differently with the different types of dementia.
It's actually, you talk about awareness, it's actually getting all of these things out to people and letting them understand that it's not just, oh, you can't remember things, you don't know where your keys are, you can't remember what the lady next door is called. It's more than that. And it's actually getting the information out to people, look for these things. What else should we be looking for? Are there things that we think, or you think, especially being a part of the Alzheimer's Association, that are, commonplace, that maybe the general public just really don't know. They don't know. So, it's getting this information out, and this obviously is one way that we can try and get to the general public. Is there financial help out there for people who want to care for people who've got Alzheimer's?
That's another great question. There is, I know, when you see people getting diagnosed earlier, which it seems like we see that all the time now, until you're 65, you're really not getting those senior services. There are respite programs and day care services, if you will. For that financial piece, so many people take it on themselves. They have no choice but to stay home. And you'll see a lot of women even, quitting their jobs or declining a promotion, because as that loved one needs additional care, it often falls on the woman of the house to kind of step up into that role. I think that's a piece that's kind of missing right now. I myself could brush up even on the financial aspects of help out
Most
there.
of the money raised goes into the research, trying to find the cure, just like with the breast cancer, let's find the cure. But having said that, while there isn't maybe direct financial assistance, there are a lot of resources out there. One of my favorite is the support groups. People, they're not alone. You don't have to do this alone. If you've got a loved one with Alzheimer's or dementia, there are others that are going down that same path. And I've just seen wonderful bonds of people that get into these support groups, and they're sharing where they're at with their loved one. And others have been there, and they encourage them. And many of them stay in the support group even after their loved one passes.
Yes.
They form such great relationships
They
with the
really
other people in
do.
there, and that is so important to them that they stay on into those Alzheimer's and dementia support groups. So if you have a loved one that's in that situation, I encourage you to find, and you guys have lists of them.
Yes.
If people call, you can find lists of Alzheimer's and dementia support groups in your areas.
And we really do try and focus it. So, maybe you're a husband that wants to bond more with other men going through this situation, or you're a younger early onset, taking care of someone younger, and you want to maybe talk to people that are going through that same experience. So we really do try and put you in groups that are beneficial and more peer-based, I guess.
You said younger. I mean, we automatically think that it's a senior disease, but in fact, it can affect younger people, can't it? How young, or is there a you don't know?
The earliest I've seen, and I have two right now. One is 48, one is 49. When they were diagnosed, and that's what scares me the most, obviously, because that's kind of my age. But it was an employer that kind of noticed the change in this employee that had been here 10 years, and she was only 49, and the next thing you know, she's asking the new person that just started those routine questions that she's done over and over and over for 10 years. And the HR person had to become involved and say, hey, what's happening with so-and-so here, and the family stepped in, and now it was just such a rapid decline for her, and she's 52, 53 now, and I just saw her at the Gainesville walk, and she looks great, but you can really see the decline in her. So it's happening younger.
Yeah. Well, let's now touch on the walk, and I know it's coming up very soon.
Yes, Saturday.
So just give us all the details: where, when, how.
Yep. So it is at UNF Amphitheater. It's Saturday, November 6th. The event starts at 8. The opening ceremony is at 9. We have a lot of different safety protocols in place this year, encouraging the social distancing, masking if necessary, if if that makes you comfortable. Lots of hand sanitizing stations. Our food and beverage tent will have gloves, and so anything like that. We really are taking precautions. But again, it's back to awareness. So if you can come out, whether you can donate or not, throw on some purple and walk with us. I mean, that really is what helps us get more media attention, that sort of thing. Bring your loved one, and it's supposed to be beautiful weather, so it's going to be a good time.
Well, thank you for coming in, Terry, and highlighting this, because it's it's so necessary, and we need to just get more awareness out there.
We do. Appreciate you having me. Thanks.
My pleasure. And thank you for watching Caring for Seniors. And if you'd like to know any more information about Alzheimer's Association, you can also find it at iwannabuzz.com. Wow, that was fantastic. What a great show, and what interesting businesses. Don't forget, if you need any more information, you can go to iwannabuzz.com. Bye for now.